welcome in. Feel free to go ahead and drop in the chat where you're calling in from. We always like to hear where all of our Scribe users are located. Maria and I are actually located in our office in San Francisco today. So feel free to drop that in the chat. Just make sure. Awesome. Hi, Alicia. Welcome, Texas. But yeah, feel free to drop that in, say a quick hello. And we'll just kind of wait for some more people to file in because I know we got started a little bit early. But yeah, super excited to share more about Scribe today. We also have Alex on the call who will be helping assist with all of your questions, calling in from Canada. Awesome. Cool. Well, just while we're waiting for people to go ahead and trickle in, I'll go ahead and kick off introductions here. My name's Allison. I'm with the customer success team here at Scribe. Really excited to dive a little bit deeper into the AI functionality today. So I'll pass it off to Maria.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria. As Allison mentioned, we're both calling in from San Francisco, also in the customer success team, and just really excited to get to showcase AI to all of you.
Yay. And then as mentioned, we have Alex, who's also a part of our customer success team as well. So feel free to either drop your questions throughout the call in the Q&A box at the bottom. We try to encourage them to lay there just so it's a little bit easier to sift through, but feel free to also pop any reactions or anything top of mind in the chat as well. I'll go ahead and launch a poll just to go ahead and see a couple of things like your experience level with Scribe. This is a newer motion we're doing, so it's helpful to kind of pinpoint who's joining and on the call. So we'd appreciate any responses. Awesome. Some power users, some newer users, some people who have sat with Scribe with a bit, so that's great. I'll leave that up for just one more second, and then I'll launch one more, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, great. I'll go ahead and launch one more. This is helpful also just for speed, just to kind of make sure we're tailoring the call a little bit to what you all prefer. We'll try our best, but feel free to fill that out as well. Cool. Awesome. Great. So it looks like we all kind of agree with a nice steady walk. Marie and I will do our best here today, but thanks for filling that out, everyone. I'll go ahead and share my screen here and get started. So welcome to Scribe Spotlight. You might have recognized this is a newer motion we've been doing actually for webinars. We also have another webinar if you're newer called Scribe 101, which is really for those who are just getting started with the tool, or even if you need an overview of Scribe again, maybe a refresh in depth. That's what Scribe 101 is for. Scribe Spotlight is more designed for people who have used Scribe a bit and maybe are looking to fine-tune things a little bit more. And we're here to focus on a specific topic. Today, that's going to be AI functionality, which we obviously love at Scribe, but just a quick go over an agenda. We'll just do a quick intro slides and, kind of why does AI matter in documentation, as well as transition into some relevant functionality with AI and kind of deep dive into some best practices and use cases as well. We really encourage you all to follow along and test it out yourself. We'll leave some time at the end for any questions or anything that comes up as you're going along. But you might be wondering a little bit more about kind of what does Scribe do overall and what's our goal. Our main goal as a company is to help automatically document and scale how your team's work gets done. And I feel like everyone kind of knows us as the company that's going to help you document faster. However, there's also a couple of other things we really excel at, like we help you find your answers more easily, as well as we ensure your team's work gets done right. And what I mean by that is once people start to incorporate Scribe into their teams, they've noticed people are able to start answering their own questions. Maybe you'll get some less taps on the shoulders, answering the same 3 things. as well as I've noticed consistency starts to drive up over the course of time as people have a strong knowledge base. They spend less time going, oh, is this the right way? And, you're able to kind of condense things into one solid workflow. And you might be wondering, okay, I don't maybe use AI functionality that much. Why should I really use it? I feel like Scribe overall does a really good job at streamlining the documentation processes, but on top of that, AI streamlines that even more, and we're all looking to kind of find more time for our calendars. So you'll notice throughout today, main thing that AI really helps is, saving you time as well as just making solid documentation for the end users to kind of look back on. But I'll go ahead and transition into, editing as well as capturing with AI in regards to Scribe. So I'll go ahead and demo on our browser extension today. For some quick context, we have two different ways to capture. We have our desktop app, which will capture anything on your computer screen, as well as our browser extension, which I have pulled up and pinned up here for easy access. The browser extension will capture anything web-based. So I'm on Chrome right now, but something I want to kind of show is a newer functionality which is available on both capturing ways called voice transcription. So maybe you've been only using our classic way to capture. Essentially, voice transcription is going to make your life a little bit easier if you're having to go in the back end and do a lot of editing. You're going to be able to just kind of voice type. So if you've ever sent a text message and voice typed, it makes it a little bit easier with a Scribe because you can kind of talk as you're going throughout it. But I'll show you how it works. Essentially, to toggle it on, green means it's on and good to go. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk before I click. So you'll see it in a brief demo here. Navigate to the profile settings. Click time zone, edit. Click the drop-down and select which time zone you prefer. Click save. Awesome. So as you can kind of see, it's helpful. I'm able to kind of make the text myself and put in the context. And obviously with a normal capture, it's going to kind of auto-populate based on what you're interacting with your computer, whereas the voice transcription will allow you to kind of just say what you want as you go along. But I'll go ahead and complete this capture just to show you the end result. Of course, you can still go in the back end and do some fine tuning with editing as normal, but this again will kind of help you cut down time. Another functionality I want to point out in terms of editing is our ability to add a description with AI. So I've seen some people maybe not fully use the description quite yet. So I want to point it out. You can obviously manually type whatever you want, but if you're trying to quick save time, you can click add description and then click AI generated, and it'll go ahead and populate a short summary and kind of describe the essence of what you're trying to capture for the end user. So it does a really great job. Of course, you can still go in the back end and edit as well. Awesome. Well, I'll quick pause to see if there's any questions. Looks like Alex went ahead and dropped in a good link to reference if you're trying out voice transcription too as well. Awesome. Another thing I wanted to point out is maybe you're running into, I'm kind of capturing these lengthy scribes, 50 plus steps, 100 steps, and I kind of want to clean it up, but I don't really want to manually do it. We have this thing called merging steps with AI. So essentially, the way I would go ahead and do this is I would click this little right-hand toolbar with these three customized dots, and then I would click merge similar steps. So what it's going to do is it's going to basically clean up my scribe in one sweep. So I'll just click merge for that, and you'll see that it will go ahead and condense all of these steps into just a couple or fewer steps. Obviously, my scribe started out with about 10 or 11, and now it's gone down to 2 in one sweep. but you can see it put together the steps and then almost made a little combination of all the images in one spot. So kind of identify, ooh, what are some ways we can condense this for the end user. Again, easy on your end if you wanted to clean up a scribe in one click. If you find, I honestly don't really like the way it merged it, you can always unmerge these steps by clicking unmerge, and it'll go right back to the way you found it. I do want to point out, maybe you're finding, okay, I don't love how I can only do it all at once, and I kind of want to break it up a little bit, or maybe I just want to combine 2 steps at a time. This isn't necessarily AI, but still point it out just because it's helpful. You can also select steps on this left-hand side and manually combine them. So just depending on your use case and what you want to do, we'll do the same thing. So that magic merge is really, really good for someone who has, a long scribe and they want to easily send it out and kind of condense it in one click. Whereas this manual version is obviously a little bit more beneficial if you have a more specific step you're trying to do. Awesome. And then now in terms of sharing for AI, we all may be familiar with our embedding functionality. In short, we have 3 different viewing modes. We have the slides as well as our scrolling functionality. But for AI, we have this nice movie mode. So I'll go ahead and quick demo this. This is what it looks like embedded in Notion. We use Notion a lot here at Scribe, but essentially what it's going to do is it's going to compile all those steps in workflow that you created within that Scribe and combine it into a sizzle reel and then put an AI voice over the top of the steps. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. Quick note, you can adjust the talk speed. So if you're finding maybe it's a little slow or a little fast, you can adjust.
This guide will show you how to find your LinkedIn username. Go to this link. Click the Me dropdown. Click View Profile.
So as you can see, it's kind of nice because you can maybe cater to individuals who maybe prefer a more visual learning style, but all those viewing modes are really helpful. But we get a big question all the time of, oh, can you make this into videos? This is a great way to kind of put that into more of a visual element. Yeah, awesome. Before I pass it off to Maria, I'll share one more thing, which is our pages. So if you've never seen our pages before, we have both scribes and pages. So in short, we like to describe a scribe as a recipe. It's telling you step by step what to do with an image, but we like to compare a page to a cookbook. So essentially, this is a one-stop shop for a lengthier process. This is an example of a new hire onboarding guide. As you can see, we have text. We also have the ability to have a Miro chart, some links, even a video, so maybe you have some YouTubes, but you can also link scribes. So this is nice. We have clients who will maybe do like workday specific pages or whatever application or tool they're using and kind of put all of their scribes into that, and it's easy to send out. But in terms of AI, you can actually create a page with AI. So to go ahead and create a page, you would go to the Scribe dashboard, click New, and then click Page, and it'll take you to this blank slate. So if I wanted to maybe quickly send something out or quickly get something going, I would click Create a Page with AI. And what I would do is I would type in a prompt. So if you've ever used something like a ChatGPT before, Perplexity, etc., kind of similar where I would type in a prompt. So maybe I'll just say, create an onboarding guide for a new hire salesperson at Scribe. Keep to 600 words or so. And the nice thing with this prompting section is you can also actually copy and paste existing text documents. This has a very generous word count actually. So if you already had an existing document, you can copy and paste that text and maybe say reframe it a certain way or condense this for me. And it's nice because visually it looks very similar to a scribe. So if you kind of wanted to keep all your documentation looking very similar, you can do so. But to quickly show you, I can also select existing scribes. So as I showed you in that prior example, there was a bunch of scribes that were embedded. You can click from the recently created scribes, or you can even search scribes. So I would just click the search scribes, maybe type in JustWorks, which is our HR platform, and anything I feel like would be relevant to my document I can select. I would just click done, and it's gonna actually out-pop a guide for me in Write. So this is a huge time saver. I know I mentioned trying to get more space on your calendar. This can kind of streamline the writing process and make it a little bit less manual. Obviously, I gave it a very general kind of prompt, and regardless, you'll probably have to do some fine-tuning on the back end, but it does a really great job at kind of honing in on what I'm trying to accomplish. And the nice thing is, this is an example of a client that actually embedded their page into their website, and you can see you can kind of keep up with all of the branding guidelines. We'll send you a follow-up email with some more resources on how to create a scribe, as well as some branding behind it. But I'll go ahead and pass it off to Maria to share a little bit more about new AI functionality.
Yes, thank you so much, Allison, for showcasing our core AI functionality within Scribe, our tried and true. But today I'll be sharing two new releases that we have recently launched here at Scribe. The first one here is our Enterprise Search API. And so Allison kind of gave you a really great overview in terms of how to share your scribes, how to make sure that your scribes are succinct and digestible for the end user. And this is another great tool that we have here at Scribe that allows you to search scribes easier and make sure that all the scribes that you have within your company or organization are readily available to the end user. And so again, this is really great for companies who are looking to kind of integrate their current AI chatbot into Scribe itself. So this is ours, and something that I'm going to just quickly ask it so that I can demo it for you is, how do I set up SSO? And this is great for our base customers who are maybe looking to learn more about that on the back end. And as you can see, it just quickly searches it up and it pulls up a bunch of scribes that can be applicable for me and my current usage. So we have setting up SSO, we have setting up SSO for enterprise superorgs, and it also gives us the author, the type, when it was created, and when it was updated. And again, this is really awesome for the end user because they're also able to see when it was last updated and whether or not this is the most accurate version of what they are going to be utilizing. Once you have all of those different topics that have been pulled up by this enterprise API, I'm just going to click one of them. Setting up SSO for enterprise superorgs. Perfect. I'm going to click that. And as you can see, it pulls up a page with all of this different information. And this was a page that I saw, and so that is what they outputted. If I wanted to set up an SSO for something specific here, I might want to click this one here. Awesome. This is only available to select enterprise modules. So if this is something that you're interested in learning more about, we're happy to send you more information via email. Just type in interested in the chat and we'll make sure to take note of that. I'm going to pause here and see if anyone has any questions regarding the enterprise search API. Amazing. Awesome. So this is kind of a perfect way, again, to search through all of your scribes more efficiently and a lot faster. The next thing I'm going to be showcasing is something that we launched that we're super excited about, and it's called Analyze Workflows. And so this is just a very simple scribe here that goes through the process of managing different team users. And once you know how to create, edit, and share a scribe, one thing that you're probably wondering is, okay, how am I able to optimize our different workflows to make sure that we are making the most out of our time here? And one of the things that we've created here at Scribe is analyze workflows. So if you just go on a Scribe, click this button right here, it'll out-pop a suggestion, a couple of suggestions here, in addition to an efficiency score. So it really takes a look at what you're doing within your workflow, and it pops out suggestions based on, AI generation. A couple of things that you can do to optimize that workflow. So there's a couple here, and if I just create a scribe and maybe I'm a little busier throughout the day, but I really want to take note of this, I can quickly click save and it'll transfer over to the save tab right here. If I wanted to see how I can better my workflow, and I see here that this is maybe a really great suggestion, I'm going to click show me how. And this tool will actually generate a quick overview of what that means, in addition to a step-by-step guide on how to complete this specific task. It also showcases why it works, and it also gives me space to ask follow-up questions in case I needed it. I'm going to pause right here to see if anyone has any questions. Amazing. And as of right now, this is only available within individual scribes. And so this is a really, really perfect segue into what I'm going to be discussing next. And this is kind of building into our workflow AI platform at Scribe. So what is workflow AI? Workflow AI really allows you to kind of strategize and look through how your current work gets done and how we can then optimize those specific workflows. We're able to look at ROI, which platforms are working, which platforms are not, and how we can actively solve those specific challenges or issues. And so this November, we're really getting ready to launch Scribe Optimize, which is a new product that will showcase how work really gets done, where things can be improved and automated, and what that ROI would be. And so again, this is super exciting for us, and we're happy to send additional information later on via email. So if you're interested, go ahead and type that in the comments and we'll send you more information. Awesome. And Alex just sent over a link of this website that I'm currently sharing that gives a really brief overview of what workflow AI is and how it can really help your company. Great. So I'm going to pause here and see if anyone has any questions. Thank you guys so much for typing in the chat, interested. We're happy to share that later on. Cool. Awesome. And so before we wrap up and go over questions and resources, we just really wanted to showcase what October looks like for us. So as Allison mentioned, this is a little bit of a newer motion. And so we're really excited to continue talking about launches within Scribe, specific features that you may not be utilizing within your specific organization. And so this is our October line of topics. October 1st, we'll be discussing our change management items here. October 8th, we'll be going over branding. October 15th, we'll be just making sure you have clear documentation, reducing that friction. October 22nd is going to be office hours, so come with all of your questions. It's just going to be space to kind of clarify anything or give suggestions. And the last week of October, October 29th, will just be guidance on how that risk is minimized within your work. And so this is going to be our schedule. Please feel free to sign up for any or all of these, and we're really excited to continue talking about our features with all of you. I'm going to stop sharing here and leave some space for all of you to ask any questions. Amazing. I know this is probably some stuff to take in, and so, I see. When will translation be available on the Guide Me feature? That is a great question, Christian, and that's something that we can go ahead and ask our product team and then follow up a little bit later. Any other questions here? Amazing. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. You can reach out to us at success@scribehow.com. I just put that in the chat. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And we're also going to be sending follow-up emails with this recording in addition to some resources that you can utilize asynchronously. We also have a survey at the end of this webinar. If you guys can fill that out, give any feedback or any other, feature suggestions that you'd like us to cover, that will all be very, very helpful. For voice transcription, is information compliant with HIPAA as it is not stored by Scribe? Allison, in terms of HIPAA, or Alex, is this something that we currently cover?
I'll have to confirm, but Carissa, what I can do is I'll put our AI security and privacy policy in the chat, but we can follow up specifically on that question. I do know a number of customers have reviewed our security policies to ensure they are HIPAA compliant, but we'll take that exact question away. But this is that policy in case you want to take a look, and we'll follow up after.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for all of the questions. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you all for joining. Please, again, feel free to email us if you have any questions, and hopefully we see you all in future Scribe Spotlights. Have a great Wednesday, everyone.
Thanks all. Bye. Have a good week.